Hello, everybody. Happy Labor Day weekend to you. I hope you're having a nice, peaceful, relaxing weekend as we get ready to kick off the end of summer and back to school routines for everybody.
Halloween
season
September 1st. It begins here.
Yeah, Halloween season begins September 1st, where everything gets earlier and earlier these days. Anyway, Kevin Dennison here, along with me per usual is Atomic Tommy. How you doing?
Ready for fall.
We are broadcasting to you from our store, Most Wanted Comics, here in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. And I got to tell you what, we are ready to kick off fall. We're ready to kick off football season. We're ready to kick off Halloween season.
Football.
We're ready to talk comics, and we're going to talk about some ancient prophecies today. We're going to talk about favorite Batmans.
We're gonna talk Batman here.
We're gonna talk some riffs here. We're gonna spin some yarn and talk some tales. We're gonna cut some fool. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. Anyway, let's talk comic books. What a week for comics! There was a lot of releases this past week.
There was a lot of releases. You know, if we want to talk like most wanted comics lore here for a second, we don't carry a lot of new comics. You guys probably know this. We carry enough. We have the pull lists. But we don't carry every title that releases every week. But this was a big week, man. We had 51 titles on the shelf. That is a record for us. We have never had that many new comics in one week before. We're
growing because we're getting a lot of new customers, too.
We're getting a lot of new customers. We're growing, and we're carrying more. So if you guys need a comic shop to get your new comics, or you need a comic shop that might be closer to you, Most Wanted Comics carries new comics. We have pull lists. Check us out. Get your new comics from Most Wanted.
Yeah, and check out our website, mostwantedcomics.com. You can always check out what's going on, too. Facebook, Most Wanted Comics MN. And, I got to tell you what, we always have events, too. We have fun events.
We also have fun events. Yeah, tying in. Great segue. September 14th coming up. Tito Santana.
Oh,
legendary
iconic wrestler.
Yeah. For all the details, you can head over to mostwantedcomics.com. As well as our Facebook page, Most Wanted Comics. So, with that, anything else before we get?
No, let's get back to comic talk. It's just we're like ADD. We're spinning in so many directions. There's bright shiny objects everywhere.
We gotta put the plug in. Okay,
you gotta put the plug in.
You gotta put the plug in. We gotta set up. We gotta do the setup. But let's talk about comics. Last week there were a couple things we should talk about. You know, let's start with Ultimate X-Men number 6. We've talked about Ultimate X-Men before. Usually. You guys know I always kind of have a mild to less impressed take on the book, but it's going to be different this week because I actually enjoyed this issue. Man, Ultimate X-Men I think is going to start growing on me here a little bit because this was a fun book and it was a fun issue. I think, we're past the setup now. We know the characters. The characters are semi-competent in their abilities, and it's starting to feel more like your superhero X-Men book, which is something that I've said from the beginning that it was kind of missing. Now, this is by no means your traditional superhero book. It's still drastically different from anything else in Marvel right now. But it's starting to feel more and more like, the superhero X-Men book that I think it set out to be. The characters are using their abilities more. They're a team. They're trying to fight the bad guy. While still maintaining the cultural significance that Peach Momoko brings to it, still maintaining that difference, that feeling of uniqueness to this book, that again is nowhere else in Marvel right now. So it's starting to have a good balance and really find its flow in being, the superhero X-Men book and, the unique book that I think everybody enjoys.
Well, we said specifically a couple episodes ago, you got to give it like 5 issues.
You got to give it a few issues, I think for me it was really slow issue after issue, and it took 5 issues to really pick up, I think, but now it is, and it wasn't bad, that's for sure. But also we got to talk about Archie the Decision. What a ridiculously fun. Yeah, what a ridiculously fun book. Man, it was a perfect Archie. It not only did it nail the style and the vibe of, those classic Archie books, but it was just a lot of fun, which is what Archie is meant to be.
And let's remind everyone who wrote it,
Tom King. Tom King was the writer.
Tom King the King.
Tom King the King. Yeah, he does a lot of good stuff, over at DC, and really, I think, kind of stepped out of the wheelhouse for this Archie book.
From Sheriff to Babylon to Archie
to Wonder Woman. He does so much stuff, and he's just really good. And this proves that he's really good because he was able to write, I mean, in such a different style, in such a different tone, and nail it. So Archie the Decision was really good. But let's talk about what's coming up this week. You got a lot of the standards, new Spectacular Spider-Man, new Miles Morales, new Ultimates, but there are 2 books that we really need to address the highlights, you could say. Another X-Men, next week we got Exceptional X-Men #1. Another X-Men title coming up. This is the 3rd and final flagship to release. And here's a side note. Last week, I counted 3 different X-Men titles that released. 4, actually, thinking about it now. X-Men #3, X-Force #2, Deadpool Team Up #1, and NYX #2. 4 X-Men titles released in 1 week. I don't think even Spider-Man does that most of the time. This has gotten out of hand, I think. I'm pretty sure it's gotten out of hand, guys.
They're going to ride it.
I mean, it's only been going for about a month and a half.
All right, take it easy. Calm down,
and there's let's 4 in 1 week.
Let's talk about Frankenstein, the greatest 2.5-minute read for $5.
Frankenstein was also really good.
Frankenstein. Yeah. You should have read Frankenstein. You gotta calm down.
I did read Frankenstein. I'm not a horror guy.
I'm not a
classic horror guy. Frankenstein just wasn't really my cup of tea.
But they're bringing it back classics like like we were just talking about. It's not like it's not like a new style horror. They're kind of bringing back the old style horror.
Skybound, Skybound's really good at taking classic ideas, keeping it classic while also keeping it fresh.
Like Creature from the Black Lagoon, the whole series.
They're really good at that. Yeah. And Frankenstein was really good. But we got to get back to what's coming up this week. Again, another tangent. Exceptional X-Men, but also, how about a DC book, Black Label, Plastic Man No More, #1. Black Label Plastic Man title is everything I've always wanted and more. There is so much potential for this book. I am so excited for it, and we will be talking about it next week.
I'm excited for Plastic Man. Plastic Man doesn't get enough credit in the market.
Plastic Man is unironically one of the most powerful characters in DC Comics. Goes underappreciated because of the character's personality, which is one of the reasons why he's so cool.
Because they made him a tool.
Because they made him, Batman fears Plastic Man. Batman puts up with Plastic Man because he knows that he can be a real threat if he's not, the stupid jokester that everybody despises. But no, Plastic Man is so cool, and I'm so excited that he's getting a new miniseries. So we'll be checking in on that next week.
Who's the most annoying if you put him on it? Because Booster Gold or Blue Beetle on the island have their jokes and
Booster Gold
and their nonsense. What do you think between the 3 of Plastic Man, Booster Gold, and Blue Beetle?
Well, Blue Beetle isn't. I wouldn't really say Blue Beetle's annoying. Blue Beetle's a scientist. He's just friends with Booster Gold because they're the outcasts. So it's really Booster Gold or Plastic Man. And I'd say it's Plastic Man. I think Plastic Man is just a little bit more, how should we say,
if we
immature,
if Dan Jurgens would ever come here, he could help us answer that.
If Dan Jurgens ever bothered to return our phone
we better
calls,
put up the looking for Dan Jurgens. We're on the lookout
for Dan Jurgens.
Dan, feel free to. We are in your backyard, buddy. We are in Bloomington.
I know.
We are just
everywhere.
a suburb away.
You've been everywhere but Most Wanted.
You've been everywhere but Most Wanted Comics. We are in a suburb next door. Check out Bloomington. It starts with a B in the phone book.
Just come on out, Dan. Honestly, we got a perfect spot for you.
Come out and talk to Most Wanted Comics. Anyway, we're on the lookout for you. You can help us answer that question.
Yeah,
it would be a good take since you're a big part of Booster Gold. Anyway, let's get to this prophecy now. All right. So before we get started on this, we just got to I caught hell last week. You know why?
Why?
Because we didn't do our shout-outs.
You did, yeah. You did catch some smoke for that.
People were bringing in the heat walking in the door, the first, what the hell? No.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah,
There's no shout outs. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, Matt and JD, shout out. All right. Dan, shout out. Mark and Mark. Shout out. We got 2 marks now.
2 marks.
There's the 3rd one coming in. Brian and Brian. And I want to say hi to Liz out there, a new subscriber. We got to love Liz. And then we have to talk about Shanice. We have to say hi to her. And Sheila, say hi to her. And we also say hi to Jeff and Matt. And, not the first Matt.
Another Matt.
There is another Matt.
I think there's another Dan.
Oh, that's right. There's right there. There's our favorite agent Dan. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other Dan.
Yep, there are 2 Dans. Also, Jimmy the Souser. We got to give a shout out to
Jimmy the Souser. Want to give a shout out to you. We want the Gossovich family, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Got to give a shout out to the Gossovich family. So shout out to you guys. This time was our shout out to you. If you want, Caleb. Of course, got to put Caleb on the list too for the shout outs. Anyway. Hopefully that covers that for this week. Let's get back to the issue at hand.
Yeah, you can see the cover. I'm gonna put the cover right behind me.
Now we had to. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so excited.
I want you guys to take a look. As you can see, Batman is painting a portrait back there, and
we're gonna zoom in on it real close.
I want you guys to take a look at the portrait, and I want you guys to maybe think about.
Hold on before we get this. Because we were talking about this. Let's give a little premise.
We got to give a little backstory.
Before you just say, we were talking about everybody's favorite Batman. Now, of course, in my age group, we all say Michael Keaton. There's no, some people will say Adam West, blah, blah, blah. Then we get into everybody else and all the other dingbats out there who fight between Ben Affleck and all these other people, right? Well, we had to go back into the oracles and go to the Silver Age. Like in the Bible, you have Daniel, who was a great prophet. I mean, the guy was prophetic, right? But we had to go to the Silver Age prophecies, all the way back to the Silver Age and the oracles, and go all back to prophecy. And they obviously, by this Batman 106, they prophesied that Ben Affleck was to be Batman.
I know now.
And they sent hints in it. Look at the Silver Age 106.
Idea,
evidence.
Take that idea, look at the face sort of, form that Batman is painting back there, and tell me that does not look like Ben Affleck.
It is a clue.
It is a clue.
It is prophesized in the Silver Age.
It is prophesized in the Silver Age. Ben Affleck was meant to play Batman.
Batman doing the self-portrait. In the future, Ben Affleck will be Batman.
Here's the conspiracy, gentlemen. Here's how it goes. Ben Affleck is actually a time traveler from the future. Okay?
Ooh, that's a new
Ben
take.
Affleck idolized Batman in the future. He wanted to become Batman. So he travels back in time to the 1960s, forms Batman after himself, and then later plays Batman when the technology allows for it. Thus, is Ben Affleck.
Well, obviously the ancient writings of comics have spoken.
They have spoken. Ben
so
Affleck.
we had when everyone was talking about the Batmans, you cannot ignore the portrait hint of Ben Affleck in Batman.
That is true. You cannot.
And Batman 106 is the proof, ladies and gentlemen, that Ben Affleck is to play Batman.
And he did.
Prophecy
fulfilled.
Prophecy fulfilled. There you go. All right, with us now, the mighty Mafu. Mafu, it has been a while since you've been on the podcast.
It has been.
You know what? Everyone wants to know, are you ready to start school?
No. I am not.
Well, this Labor Day special, we want to wish you all the best in your high school endeavors. You're ready. You're in the big leagues now. You're on the home stretch. The
Four more years.
The final 4 more years.
And then I'm done with this torture.
Done with the torture. It's pretty good. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about Most Wanted Comics and the awesome toys that we have in the store right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we specialize in vintage toys and modern toys. And we just brought a sample today of what we have in the store. And Mighty Mafu, why don't you take it away? Why don't you tell us what we have in the store?
All right, so I have a vintage toy and a modern toy. We're going to start off with one of my favorite Cobra boats, the Water Moccasin. It was released in 1984 with the driver Copperhead. Here he is. Now, Copperhead had a variant also where his green stripe here was a blue. His gloves were blue. And his armbands were also blue. And in 1988 or 89, the Matoi was just redecoed and given new stickers as part of the Tiger Force toy line, subline of a G.I. Joe. And Copperhead was not the driver. He was shifted off to the Python Patrol in 89 or 88. So Python Patrol, Copperhead looked very weird. Python Patrol is not my favorite. It's up there with Sky Patrol as my least favorite sub-team in G.I. Joe. But it is a cool vehicle.
That was kind of when it was on its downslide.
Yeah, it's about 89, like 1990 through 94. Oh, that...
They were grasping at straws.
Yes.
Yeah. That's okay.
A lot of neon and a lot of weird characters in there.
Yes, but
Street Fighter crossover.
This though is the original deal.
Yes, one of the best Cobra vehicles.
Is it complete?
Well, it has the tiny torpedo, which is always missing, but another rudder is missing. But these are not as fragile as the whale, which is great because this was a little cheaper than the whale. So yeah, I'll just put it that way.
So we have that in our store right now. What do we have it priced at?
$30.
Cool. So you can get that with the driver, $30. All right.
And now we come to one of the coolest Voltron toys ever made. This, my dear friends, is the Bandai Soul of Chogokin reissue of the 2017 Beast King Go Lion Voltron.
Awesome.
This is the Lion Force Voltron. It comes with all the line blades, all the line weapons. It comes with a lot of the Voltron weapons, and it even comes with a stand. And it comes with 2 nameplates, so you can either display it with Voltron or with Beast King Go Lion, which in Japan, which is what they named the Lion Force Voltron, which is this one in Japan. So, and then there was another one, that Ruger 15, which was a vehicle Voltron. Bandai also did.
If you had the old die-cast, like I had the die-cast old Voltron, this is just like that one.
Yeah,
it's super, super.
And here's a picture of the lions and the robot itself.
It is the coolest Voltron made in the last decade. Wow. All I can say is how cool it is. It's a great anniversary edition.
Yes, I've heard Bandai are good toy makers when making like giant robots. It's
the attention to detail is second to none. If you don't have this statue or the toy, I should say, if you don't have this for your shelf, you're really missing out. It is one for your shelf of iconic toys, especially from the 80s.
Yeah.
Voltron was awesome and still is awesome today. And so, yeah, if you don't have this, this is definitely one to save up for and pick it up when you can, because it is definitely cool. It's definitely cool. So, Mafu, what else do we got? Anything else to add?
Well, I just wanted everybody to know that we do carry vintage toys, and so don't be afraid to bring in your vintage toy collections. We will give you a great deal on them, and yeah, and come on in and see all the amazing G.I. Joe stuff we have.
All right, cool. Thank you, Mafu. Good luck in starting of school, and we'll check back with you when we have more to talk about, and wrap up how the first week of school went for you.
All right.
You have a good one, Matt.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, if you like what you see here, make sure you smash the like button, and also make sure you subscribe to Most Wanted Comics on our YouTube channel. We would appreciate that very much. And also, if you're traveling into Minnesota, or if you're going to see the Mall of America, we're just 7 minutes away from the Mall of America.
Yeah, we are.
And if you want to stop by a great local comics book shop that has tons and tons of back issues, and we also sell new comics, and we also sell vintage toys, which you heard the mighty Mafu talk about. We sell vintage toys. We sell modern toys. Hey, here's a plug-in. We sell sports cards too, and gaming cards. We have Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, One Piece. I tell you what,
our card section is nothing to sneeze at.
No, don't underestimate the power of our cards. But here's the deal: we are a small store, and we don't hide the fact that we make do with a little space. But every Tuesday night is called Tuesday Night Main Event. And on Tuesday night,
5:30 to 8.
5:30 to 8, you come out here, we cover up the long boxes, and we bring out all our cards.
Yep.
We throw the cards on the table. We
do.
We put all our cards on the table. We cover them up. We have display cases we have sports cards, of gaming cards, singles, packs, you name it. We have cards. So come on out 5:30 to 8 on Tuesday nights and have fun at Tuesday Night Main Event. And it is a good time to talk about because it's the start of football season. So your take, we're in Minnesota, so we got to talk Vikings for a second. How do you think the Vikings are going to do this year?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say with Darnold as our QB. Here's the thing. I think I don't really know. I think he had just some bad. He could be good. He could show us that he's actually a pretty good player, and he just had bad teams behind him in the past. But he also doesn't have a lot going for him.
Well, Justin Jefferson.
Well, we have Justin Jefferson, but what good is Justin Jefferson if our QB sucks? Can't throw to him.
Okay, look, Sam Darnold. Here, you can reach Atomic Tommy at P.O. Box.
Look, I'm not dooming on I'm not dooming on Sam Darnold. I think he could be good. He could be good. And we could have it. Sam Darnold could just kill it. Justin Jefferson could kill it. And we could just have the lineup. But I don't know. We got to wait and see how Sam Darnold performs. It's hard to say.
I don't know. I'm fearing an 8-win season. I'm fearing it, maybe. It could be good. I don't know. I always cheer for the Vikings, okay? But I'm a little nervous for this season. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
So it seems like every time
we've had a lot of there's been a lot of bad luck so far,
We started off with the Dewey, and then we started off then the Mekhi Blackman, he gets hurt, loses. He was gonna be a stud, I think, coming up in our secondary. Then he gets hurt. Then our starting quarterback gets hurt. He's out.
Something happens with Addison. We don't even know.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we're good luck to the Vikings. I hope it's a good season. We're excited for football season to start. We want to wish everyone out there a great week. Hope you had a safe Labor Day weekend, and enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy the first week. We'll see you guys next week.